Hey guys, it's your girl Keri, and today I wanted to share my updated to-go breakfast station. A couple of years back, I shared a video on how I set up a no-cost to-go breakfast station. Since then, our family's needs have changed. So here's what our station currently looks like. A pitiful mess. I kind of let it fall by the wayside while I was in the process of getting our kitchen repainted. So now I'm ready to set it back up and put it to use again. So the first step was to clear all of the clutter. And my second step was to determine how we wanted to use the space. And based on my current family's needs, we decided to use this space as a smoothie station, a bagel and waffle station, and also a breakfast muffin or slash breakfast protein ball station. So that is exactly how I'm going to set this up. So first I'm going to add our blender for our smoothies, and I'm going to stick that over here in the corner and plug that in. Next I'm going to add our toaster, and I switched out from a 4-slot toaster to a 2-slot toaster, and that was simply because A, space savings, and also B, I wanted my family to start taking into consideration portion control. When I had the 4-slot toaster, they would make 4 waffles or 3 pieces of toast. So I want to kind of control our portion size, and let me tell you, switching out to this 2-slot toaster caused a lot of havoc in my family. My daughter and my husband completely was against it. They were very upset. And another thing I like about this toaster is that it is the black stainless steel, and it doesn't show up fingerprints and things like that very easily. And I really like that because I am not the one to try to wipe down and clean and take care of fingerprints every day. So it can look really nice with minimal cleanup. And I will leave a link in the description box below as to if you're interested in this particular toasters. And then on this side it has all of the settings. And I just really like this toaster. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that over in the corner and plug that in. Now I wanted to make a bagel keeper for our breakfast station, so I went around my home and gathered up some random things to put this together. If you remember, when I very first started my YouTube channel about 4 years ago, I did a nautical haul, and in that haul I picked up a domed cloche with like a rope handle on it for 90% off. This was $59.99 and I got it for $6. Well, I just took the base because I thought this would be the perfect size. I've had this cloche here for many years, and it comes from a different entertaining set. And if you guys been following me for a while, you know I went to Japan a couple of years back, and while I was in Japan I visited the Dollar Tree in Japan, and I picked up this wooden paper towel holder, and I thought this would make the perfect bagel stand or bagel holder, so I'm going to use that as well. So let's put this thing together. So I'm going to take my paper towel holder, sit that in the center, and I'm going to grab my bagels and open these up. And by trial and error, I figured out that the Thomas's Bagels is the perfect fit for this bagel stand. And the reason being is that it has the perfect size hole in the middle to just slide down onto our bagel stand. I can no longer buy our store brand Kroger brand bagels because the hole here is actually a slit, and that would not fit down onto our bagel stand. So I do buy the Thomas's when it's on sale, when they go buy one get one free, which ends up being the same price as our Kroger brand. So you might want to keep that in mind if you decide to do something like this, a project like this. I don't know what other brands have in terms of the size hole. You might find another brand in your local store that will have the proper hole to slide onto the bagel stand. And then I just add the cloche to the top, and we are good to go. So now we want to address these cords here in the back so that we won't see those and they won't create an eyesore. I'm going to take this little cake stand that I picked up from Target Dollar Spot years ago. Many of you probably already have this cake stand, so I'm going to sit that there. Then I'm just going to take a milk jug. This one says milk. I had this in my cabinet, and I just filled it with some faux flowers, and I'm going to sit that on top of the cake stand, the miniature cake stand, and that pretty much hides all of the cords. Now I need to dress this up a little bit more. So next up, I have this Dollar Tree plastic frame, and you can pick these up from the Dollar Tree. They can sell them in both the horizontal and the vertical sizes. I love picking up all the different frames from the Dollar Tree. And what I did for this particular frame was just print up some directions on how to create a smoothie. And I'm just going to add it to our cake stand. So the next step is to add the fixings for our smoothie station. Now the next step is to fill in with our smoothie fixings. So I'm going to take these little penny candy jars that I had from my daughter's 10th birthday, and I filled the first one with xylitol, which is a natural sweetener. And I want to talk to you a little bit about xylitol. I buy the brand XyloSweet from Whole Foods, and I'm trying to cut back on my artificial sweeteners like Splenda and also sugar, and I want to find a natural solution. I do not like stevia, but this right here is a plant-based sweetener, so it's 100% natural, and it's also low glycemic index, and also xylitol has been reported to help with tooth decay. So I've been loving this stuff, and I try to keep the packets in my purse as well so I don't have to add Splenda and things like that to my Starbucks lattes, but I haven't been keeping up with that lately, and I've kind of slipped back into the Splenda at the Starbucks, but hopefully I can just kind of cut Starbucks out altogether. The second jar I filled with ground flax seeds, and I just add that to my smoothies. And the third one is protein powder. This is a vanilla protein powder, and I added that in there. So everything that we need to add to our smoothie is right here in front. And then my protein powder, I'm trying to switch from a whey protein powder to a plant-based protein powder. So this is the Burt's Bees protein powder in vanilla. I cannot tell you if it's good or not because I just now opened it, and we will just be trying that out this week. So I wanted to take a step back to see how things are shaping up, and I like the way everything's coming along. So now I need to address the fixings for our waffles, and you guys saw this many times. This is a container I picked up from the Dollar Tree to house our syrup. I just pour our syrup from the bottle in here, and it just makes it look a little bit more fancy. And here is our butter dish. I've had this dish for many years, and I just add the butter in there so that it can keep it soft, so that we can just keep it moving in the morning. And I'm just going to add that right there. So when I take a step back, I look at the finished product, and I am so happy with how everything turned out. It's very convenient and functional for my family. So what I'm most happy about now is that in the morning I can just come and slide the blender forward and make our smoothies without having to, you know, shift everything around or pull it out from underneath. It just has its own designated spot, and I absolutely love that. Now what I do with our smoothies at the beginning of the week, I take a little baggie and put in all of our fruits and veggies for the smoothie, so when you wake up in the morning you can just grab a bag out, dump the bag with all of the frozen contents in there, and then all you would have to do is just add in the various items that you want on your smoothie maker. So after you dump in the frozen veggies and fruit, you can just add your juice. Dairy means either yogurt or milk, almond milk, coconut milk, whatever you want, or just a little bit of water, and then we add our protein powder, flaxseed, and sugars. So that has been one of the things I absolutely love about having a dedicated smoothie station for the mornings. The next thing I absolutely love is the bagel stand or the bagel keeper. It's so easy to just come in, reach, pull that off, and since we're not making smoothies, you just sit that to the side, grab a bagel off, throw it in the toaster, and we're good to go. And again, at the beginning of the week, I'll make different types of homemade bagel spreads for our bagels. Another area that I love is this bagel keeper. It's so easy. You just come in, pull the top off, sit it to the side, and you can grab a bagel. Now, I've been trying to limit the amount of breads and things that we eat. So I typically, here I have 4 just for show for the video, but typically I just put 3 out and then I freeze the rest so that they can't have access to it immediately. And what I'm trying to do is get each one of us to just eat a half a bagel in the morning and put the spread on it in the beginning of the week. I'll make the spreads for our breakfast, spread our bagels with the different spreads, half a bagel, and then opt to choose a piece of fruit to go with that instead of eating the entire bagel. It's been a little bit rough getting my family to get on board, but I do have hope for us. So this station I absolutely love. And I didn't want to take away all the foods that they absolutely love. I just want to kind of limit them. And then finally, here's a section over here for our waffles. So in the morning, you would just go in the freezer, grab a couple of waffles, throw them in here, heat them up, and then you have the butter and the maple syrup to add to those waffles, and it's just a quick and easy meal. So in this drawer is where I have all of the items to help with our breakfast preparations. Over here are the napkins, and we use these to put our bagels on so we won't have to use a plate, and we can just butter them up or put our spread on them and just go with the napkin in hand. And then over here on this side, I just have a scoop for the protein powder, a spreader for our waffles and our bagels, and a spoon for the flaxseed to measure the flaxseed. And that's pretty much it. Back there is just the trivets when I take hot things out of the oven, because our oven is adjacent to the breakfast bar. What I also like about this area is that I can easily switch it out to fit our needs. So let's say that particular week we're not having any bagels. I can easily take the bagel keeper away, stick that in the pantry, and add this other apothecary jar that I have on hand and just fill this with breakfast muffins or either our 3-ingredient breakfast protein balls or something like that. This would just still be an easy option to just grab and go in the morning. And another thing you want to keep in mind when you're doing these quick little to-go breakfast stations is to leave yourself enough surface area to actually prepare or make your food. So here my blender can slide straight out and I have room to make my smoothie. And again, this one has enough clearance room to take the top off without banging anything. And you just want to make sure, just give it a go through to just make sure that everything functions and works well. And over here I have enough room just to push down my toaster and lift it up, and that'll be fine. There is no fire hazard or issue with the flours here and the bagels or the toast or the waffles. But again, if you were concerned and said, Keri, I don't want to be that fancy, I don't need a milk jug with flowers and a sign, I just want to keep it simple. So I'm going to show you another way that you can simply set up your breakfast station without all of the cuteness and frills. This is just a minimal, functional way to set up your breakfast bar, and I call this my keeping it real version. So here in my keeping it real version, I'm going to take a old basket that I have on hand, and instead of sitting it upright, I'm going to turn it upside down to give it some height. And there you go with the basic keeping it real version. I added this basket for height and to also cover that outlet, so you cannot even see the outlet. You don't have to worry about knocking over a floral arrangement or any of the signs, and you can just throw your bagels and waffles in there and you are good to go. I just shifted the bagel keeper over here, and again we can switch that out with our other apothecary jar for our muffins and things if need be, and we still have all of our surface area here. Now if you still wanted to be a little extra, you could go ahead and add your smoothie sign right there in front of the toaster, and you are good to go. And because it has this little lip underneath, it can just slide right under there and it won't fall off. The outside of the toaster, this area does not get hot, so it wouldn't melt the sign should you want to put that sign there. And I just really like the way everything turned out. Personally, now that I've set up the keeping it real version, I'm going to test that out for a couple of weeks. And to be quite honest, I probably will leave it like this, the keeping it real way, instead of adding the flowers and such, but just wanted to give you a few options. So when we're not doing bagels, smoothies, or waffles, if you saw how I set up my new spice cabinet, we also do hot cereals, and that's a quick and easy to-go meal, but that's done over by the stove because that's a more convenient area. Sometimes in the beginning of the week, I'll make a egg artichoke bake and cut that up into squares, and then you can just grab, throw it in a microwave and grab and go. So those are some other quick to-go ideas when you're not using this little breakfast station over here. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and got a few tips and tricks, and until next time, I'm going to keep calm and carry on. Bye guys.